Okay, the recording is started. I will go ahead and call this meeting to order at 10:03. So let me share my screen. Can everybody see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Let me move that so I can actually present it. Cool. Everyone, welcome to the meeting. Thank you for joining us. So just a reminder of some Zoom etiquette. Remember, this is a Zoom meeting, so that means that you can all unmute yourselves. You can be on camera, but it's completely optional if you don't feel like being on camera this morning. That's perfectly fine. And please mute yourself if you're not actively speaking, just to avoid background noise and crosstalk. Just a little Zoom overview. If you need to know where all of your reactions are, to raise your hand or to clap or whatever you would like to do, there's a reactions button down at the bottom. If you don't see that bar right now, you might need to hover your mouse down toward the bottom of the screen. Sometimes it hides itself automatically. You can always mute yourself. You can start and stop your video, and you can chat with all of the other participants as well. Please don't leave. We like you being here. And then if you're on your mobile device, same thing, but reactions and chat are hidden under the 3 dots. So if you need to get to those, you'll have to tap on your screen to get the bar to show up, and then you can click on the 3 dots to get into your actual meeting controls. Okay, and again, please stay muted during the meeting. And if you need to be recognized, please raise your hand. If I'm presenting, I may not be able to see. So if you wave at me, then I might see you. So you can raise your hand with a raise hand reaction, or you can actually raise your hand in video. If I see you, I'll call on you. Thank you. All right, so we'll start with the native land acknowledgement. The state of Michigan occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabeg, Three Fires Confederacy, the Ottawa, Chippewa, and Potawatomi. The Michigan Democratic Party recognizes historic Indigenous communities in Michigan and those who were forcibly removed from their homelands. We further recognize the ongoing relationship of dependence upon and respect for all living beings of earth, sky, and water. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous sovereignty, history, and experiences. All right, so determination of quorum. Let me pull up our participants list here. I know that we've got people from Kalamazoo. I know we've got people from Allegan and Cass. Do we have people from Van Buren today with us? And I see Berrien. Anybody here from St. Joseph or
Yes,
Van Buren?
Kathy Greaves
Excellent.
from St. Joseph County.
Hello, Kathy. Good morning. Thank you.
Eleanor, it's Rick Catherman from Van Buren. Not sure if you saw me or not.
Excellent. Hello, Rick.
Good
I
morning.
keep forgetting where everyone lives. We just all sort of live in this giant conglomerate of the 6 districts. Excellent. So I would say we definitely have quorum. I know that some of our officers are not here today. Mike Sines is absent, but everyone else, as far as I can tell, is here. So we are good. All right, approval of agenda. So did everyone receive the agenda in the email? If not, I can pull it up here. This is our agenda.
Yes, I would move approval of the agenda.
Thank you, Mark Miller.
I'll second.
Anyone second?
Second, Catherman
Excellent.
from Van Buren.
Thank you, Rick. So it has been moved and properly seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please unmute yourself and say aye.
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 All
Aye.
opposed, please unmute yourself and say nay. All right, the agenda has been approved. Cool. The meeting minutes from last time, I believe, were also included in the email. If not, I can find them. (123), 220. I don't see them here. Oh, March 27th. This is our last executive committee meeting, or our last district committee meeting. Yep. Okay. So here's the minutes. Ooh, somebody's drawing on my screen. Did anyone have any amendments to the minutes? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting on March 27th.
That is what.
Spears?
Sharon Spears, did you motion?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mark, will you second?
Second.
Excellent, cool. So it's been moved and properly seconded to accept the minutes. All those in favor, please unmute yourself and say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, please unmute yourself and say nay. All right. The minutes have been approved. All right, so communications. Do we have any elected officials that would like to speak today? Okay. Seeing none, then we'll go on to the report of the chair. Okay, so,
Eleanor, could I ask Mark
Yeah.
Miller a question just because he is chair or he is an elected official that I'm curious to see? Mark, has anybody from legislative talked to the clerks in your area regarding the package of legislation for elections?
Legislative committee of the MDP or
No,
from
I'm
the
your
legislature?
legislature from the Michigan legislature.
Well, it goes the other way. Individual clerks, I don't think we've done anything as a county clerk group in Kalamazoo. I don't mean county clerks, I mean the local clerks of Kalamazoo County.
Right.
We have not done anything corporately. Many of us individually have contacted our individual state legislators.
Okay.
I
None
did
of them
write
have
an
reached out to you?
evaluation of all of the 39 bills and gave each a couple sentence description and a letter grade and passed that on to my legislators.
Well, I would love to have a copy of that if you wouldn't mind.
I would be happy to. Mike, most of them are awful, terrible, and no good.
Yes.
And a couple of them are kind of okay, and maybe a couple of them are good. I've eventually figured out that they're there for distractions. So voter suppression, what voter suppression? No, look over here. Here's a good bill.
Right.
And that's what is going on with these.
Well, and what I've noticed too, because Kim Lasada has her name on at least 35 of those bills, either as a sponsor or co-sponsor. And yet when she puts out things, she had put something in the Sturgis Journal. And the overall view makes it sound like, oh, what's the problem here? Until, like you said, you get into the meat of the things in the legislation, and they're not, So I was just wondering, because we attended a meeting the other day for her, a coffee, although she wasn't there. And her district director had made the comment that when asked why she felt it necessary, that she had received lots of communication from clerks and election workers. So we haven't heard anything in Berrien County. So since you're one of those people, I was just wondering if, you knew of anybody that had reached out and said, and we don't know exactly what they might have said if they did indeed reach out to her. It could have been negative or positive. So I'm just wondering, as an elected election official, if anybody had reached out to you in your position. So thanks.
No, it's gone the other way around.
Okay.
I've reached out to legislators, including some of those on the committee, even if they're not representing me in my district.
Right.
And I know many clerks have done the same, but we haven't really heard formally from any legislators, at least that I'm aware of, directly asking that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been attending doing the committee meetings on Wednesdays, which have been quite interesting because, Senator Wojno I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, is the lone Democrat on that committee. And with Senator Johnson, former clerk for, former Secretary of State for Michigan, it's amazing what comes out of her. So anyway, it's been interesting. So I was just curious if anybody had reached out to you in your position. So thanks for sharing.
all right, thank you very much. So the report of the chair, I don't have too much to report. Obviously we had the redistricting seminar, I don't know what to call it, the hearing at the Kalamazoo Wings Stadium this past week, which I saw a lot of our legislators had attended. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend, but I hope that it was well attended. The MDP talked about that in the chair's call this week. it sounds like the Republicans are also doing a really good job getting attendees to come and say the things that we don't want them to say, basically like keep the townships together and don't make fair districts is basically what they're asking for. So I'm hoping that the independent commission will listen to the citizens that actually show up in good faith, instead of the ones that are trying to sort of, I don't know, undermine the process. Jill, did you want to announce the picnic date, or should I announce the picnic date?
Sure I can. The picnic is July 17th, which is our normal meeting day. And it's at Little John Lake Park where we always have it. And we are hopeful that we can have a normal picnic with food, but I think, we'll make a final decision in about another month when we can see how things are going. But we've rented the pavilion, and the plan B would be to do something in our cars, but I'd like to get it a little bit get there earlier next time and rope off a parking lot, and because it really didn't work last year with the FM transmitter, because the people who weren't in their cars couldn't hear very well because it wasn't a microphone, it was an FM transmitter. So if we have to do plan B, we'll try and set it up more so where the speakers are kind of in the middle of the parking lot. We can be in the cars around the outside, but hopefully we can just be in the pavilion and kind of space ourselves out.
Is there a start time for that? Just
3 p.m. And we do have a speaker lined up. Lisa Evans from Community Action of Allegan County is going to come and speak about community action. And in Allegan, we have a real strong partnership with Community Action, and they are doing a lot of the work of helping the those that are struggling, be it poverty or housing or, all those kinds of things. And we're going to have a conversation. The context is community health, because in order to be physically healthy, you have to be financially healthy and all those other things. So, and then I've also reached out to the Allegan County Health Department, but I would just encourage everybody, if you don't have a relationship with your community action group, that you can contact them and get to know what community action is all about, because it's all about what we're about.
Thank you, Jill. The only other thing that I would
Eleanor, I
like to,
apologize.
yes.
I'm sorry, but can Jill go over the date again and location? I'm sorry.
Yep, date is July 17th, 3 p.m. start time, and it's at Little John Lake Park in Allegan County. I don't have the address memorized. I'm sure I think if we don't have an event, we'll be creating one and we'll share it on the 6th district page. But you can Google Little John Lake Park, Allegan, and it'll give you the address.
And that'll be on the calendar if it's not already, probably.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on there yet, but we will definitely get it on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for anyone who may be unfamiliar, that usually takes the place of our in-person meeting that month. So with our current schedule of meeting every other month for the district committee, that would be our next district committee meeting, because next month will be an executive committee meeting in June, and then July will be the full district committee, just like this meeting. So the only other thing that I wanted to address is just a reminder that the MDP is still holding lots of trainings on all sorts of different topics. You can go to the MDP website and they have a webinar section. The ones that are super useful, I think, to anyone who may be interested, they have VAN trainings. So if you're interested or have anyone ever wanted to learn anything about the VAN, from data entry to looking up voters to cutting turf, they go over that in their webinars. They're 3 per month on a Wednesday, usually around 7 p.m. They're about an hour. The only unfortunate thing is that if you sign up, they don't record them. So if you miss it, you don't get that information sent to you after the fact, which is kind of annoying. But like I said, they have them on a very frequent basis. Usually the topics are covered every single month, just on a repeating basis. So I would encourage everyone to check those out and join the ones that look like they might be interesting to you. Another very important thing is they mentioned that the MDP is now providing access to a texting platform called Spoke. So if we can cut turf in the van, you can actually text these people if they have phone numbers in their records. So that's pretty cool. If we ever wanted to do a texting campaign for candidates or for event recruitment or just for general membership recruitment, we can find voters in the van and cut them into lists and then either create phone banks if you'd like to call people for events or other initiatives, or we can text them as well. And the MDP is providing that service free of charge to us. So if anyone's interested in learning more about that, let me know and we can all get in touch with the MDP together. I don't know if they're having trainings on it at this time, but they did say that if you were interested, just to get in touch with them and they would get you the information. I have used it once or twice, so I'm not very familiar with it, but if it's anything like any of the other texting systems that are out there, it shouldn't be too difficult to get on board. So that's it from my report. So Mr. Treasurer, do you have anything to report? Ken, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, it's I'm on my phone today, not my computer, so I'm out of town. So hold on. The
No worries.
report is, let me pull it up. We're doing well. I'm not sure how well we're doing. I mean, I'll tell you what we got. Our PAC has $5,301. Our admin has $2,452.10 in it. And just to let you know, we're still working on getting squared away so we can do our reports. We're waiting on a file. I'm not quite sure what this file is to come back from Grant. Once we get that file, that's going to allow us to move forward. So that's kind of where we're at with it, being able to report our quarterlies.
Excellent, thank you. That's progress is progress, even if it's small progress. I appreciate it.
Yep, we can write checks and we can look at our bank statements, so we're moving forward.
That's extremely important. Awesome. Okay, any other officers wish to provide a report? Mark?
I just had a question for the treasurer. Are we in a position to take donations at this point?
We are, that is correct. We've been getting them through Act Blue. I get probably 3 or 4 a month, and I've been depositing them.
So let's say that I wanted to make a donation. I'd go to where to do that?
Ooh.
There's a link on our website, but that goes to the PAC account. So it depends on which account you'd like to donate to. I think normally when we pass the hat at meetings, it's toward the admin account. Is that correct?
Right, sure.
Okay, that's not currently linked on our website, but I can do that if I stop sharing my screen while everyone else is talking. I'll do that and I'll put it in the chat. If anyone would like to donate, like pass the hat today, I will put the link in the chat and that would go toward our administrative account. Thank you for asking, Mark. I appreciate it.
That was a tough one for me. I didn't know it.
Yeah, the PAC account's definitely on our website. Though I don't know if we should identify both of those links so that people can choose which one that they donate to. That's probably a good idea. So I can also make sure that that happens as well. Any other officer reports?
I have a question too.
Yeah, I have a question. If I went to send a check, make a donation by check, is there an address to send that to?
That's a good question. Ken, what would you prefer?
Well, for simplicity, send it to me. And Eleanor, if you'd like to post my address somewhere, that's more than adequate.
If you can
Sure.
do me direct to do it, you can just send it to my email. You've got it.
Okay. Yeah, Ken, if you could send me your address, we can we can make that known to people who need that address, just so that we don't post it on the website just for your privacy.
Okay. I
Do we have
will,
Do we have
well-
a PO box?
I do not believe that the 6th district has one, no.
Okay.
That's
And
not a bad idea, though.
Eleanor,
Yes, sir.
actually, all the act, I'm going to screw this up. All the Act Blue checks come directly to me.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't have a problem with people knowing my address. I mean, if you want to know my address, I mean, you can Google me. I'm out there. I mean, anybody can find me. So I'll put in the chat my address, and then you can put the title or whatever title you would like on top of that. And that's where donations can come to.
Okay. And just for clarity, if someone is writing a check, they should make it out to Michigan's 6th district.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Cool. Good to know.
Eleanor,
ma'am.
question, just to because I always get confused on this. Can we transfer monies from each account? I cannot remember how that works.
The way I understand it is once the money goes into the admin, it has to be used for admin, and you cannot take admin money and put in the PAC or
Okay.
vice versa.
Yeah, I believe that that's the case. So yeah, I think the best approach probably is to put both the donation links on the website with clear descriptions about what they're for. Because clearly the admin account is for, you know, if we're having a meeting, I can buy coffee and snacks. We can buy materials for the picnic, like tablecloths and other support things, pens, pencils, paper, like administrative stuff, right? But the PAC account is always going to go toward advertisements for campaigns, signs, flyers, leaflets, brochures, anything related to promoting us as an organization or a candidate that we're supporting. So yeah, I think making that clear on the website for everybody so that they can make the decision where they want their money to go is probably the best decision.
I just want to add, I think that the admin account is for the promotion of the committee. And then the PAC is for promoting candidates and campaigns. Because I know I was told by Dorothy that the purpose of the party, like the Allegan County Dems, is to promote the party. So we have Allegan Dems t-shirts or yard signs that say, Democrats believe. That's promoting, that's the whole purpose of the party. That's admin. And when you start promoting campaigns and candidates, that becomes state account or PAC. And then I do think that as long as you report the money that you take into the federal PAC or a state account, that if you choose to pay the rent with it, you can do that. Because the thing is, you have to report the money, and money that goes into the admin does not get reported. And so you can't do the other thing. You can't put it in the admin and then spend it on a campaign. That's a no-no.
Okay, that makes sense then. So admin is for us to promote ourselves, and PAC is for us to promote candidates or other MDP affiliates.
Eleanor, this is Betty Pierman. Could you refresh us on what the address is for our website?
Yes, it's Michigan6thdems.com.
Thank you.
So it's just like the MDP website, except that you put the word 6th in the middle. I'll put it in the chat too.
Thank you.
All right, any other officer reports? Seeing none, we will move on. Okay, report of counties. Jill, would you like to go first?
Sure. So this month we got our signs that we ordered. And thanks to everybody for coming to the dock and picking them up. We ordered a lot, Allegan did. And so if anybody wants signs, feel free to reach out to us and we can help coordinate that. The other thing that I just wanted to let everybody know is that we changed our meeting structure. So we are having an executive committee meeting the first Saturday of the month. Then we're having a third Tuesday series, which is geared toward growing the party. And we'll have a speaker. I've kind of labeled it the entertainment, enlightenment, and engagement. So Dana Nessel's gonna be our speaker this Tuesday, and then on Tuesday, June 15th, Tuesday, June 15th, we are gonna have a field trip to the Smith Farmstead to see regenerative agriculture in action, along with baby lambs. So that's at 6:30. And so our third Tuesday series, we're going to try to have some captivating speaker that will really engage, catch people's attention. They'll want to come. And then we're going to include into that about a half an hour of just things that we want people to know about what we're doing. And then our business meeting is going to be the last Thursday of the month. And we're going to do that via Zoom to just make it easier for people. Because we're going to have the third Tuesday meetings, and those will basically be in person. So that's a fairly big change that we made, but I think it solves the problem of, trying to get people to come to the meetings, but then you have a business meeting, which isn't that interesting. And when you try and have a speaker and do business, it's kind of difficult to get it all done. So that's new with us. And we are going to start meeting in person. So June is obviously a field trip. July is the picnic, and August is our Pickle Street potluck. And then we're going to meet at the Tech Center in Allegan starting in September, unless things change drastically. So I think that's the major stuff that I have to talk about.
Okay, thank you very much. Amy, I saw you. Would you like to provide your report?
Hello, everybody. Yes, so we're kind of in between meetings right now. We have our May meeting in 2 weeks. And so we have been kind of focused on the redistricting stuff. We did have an excellent showing, as everyone was alluding to earlier at the hearing. For sure, just as many of us, if not more. I think more. I didn't stay till the very end, but by the time I left, we for sure were better represented than the people who just got up there and said, yeah, I think everything's just fine, just swell, let's just leave it like it is. That was definitely the minority. Many more of us were speaking either about ideas related to the House or to the Senate, primarily. And yeah, so I think it went really well. Now we are shifting to our couple of city races that we have coming up this November. St. Joe and Benton Harbor City. We have some excellent candidates, so it's pretty exciting, actually. Just means we have more work to do. So we're getting behind that. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing down in Berrien.
Thank you. Any questions for Amy? Awesome. Kathleen, would you like to go ahead and tell us about Cass?
Let me unmute. Oh,
We can hear you. Oh, now you're muted again, I think. You muted yourself accidentally.
all right. Hello, hello. We had a pretty good showing at the redistricting meeting. There were 4 of us who made presentations. We had 2 or 3 other people in addition. It was interesting. I found that it was the first group of speakers were far more, I'm going to use the word progressive, and in terms of wanting to combine areas that had commonalities of either resources or people. And then we started getting into the group of people that were thinking about themselves more than they were the community. And it was like a real bifurcation of the 2 things. And the speakers would be saying, well, I don't want to be combined with those universities because they have their own point of view that isn't my point of view, and I don't want them to be able to change the way we live. And it was, so I thought that was such an interesting kind of you saw people's real true feelings about some things. Well done. the people who are on the redistricting committee seemed intensely interested. So we did a fair amount of prep here in Cass for getting our positions together and showing our concerns, because we do not want to continue to be in the same district with St. Joe County. It just we don't have any commonality, so we have a strong sense of that. In terms of what we've been doing, we have been doing a fair amount of community outreach. Essentially, I would say to our African American population within our county. We have a book club that has gone through White Fragility, Caste, and then Don Lemon has a fairly new book. Now is the Fire, I think is the name of it. It's been interesting to have those kinds of discussions, and they get a little heated, but I think it's worth the effort. So we're moving ahead on those things, and we are also going to start meeting in person, but we're going to offer or attempt to offer the option of people using Zoom as well. We have new administration in the Cass Party, and the former chair was the chair for a very long time and operated out of Cassopolis. And we're trying to essentially move our administration to Dowagiac, which is the only city and is the most democratic vote center. And it's a little trying. It's a little difficult for some people to give up where they felt like was where the Democrats should be. And so we're working through those hurdles. And anybody who has any idea how to make that kind of transition smoother, feel free to share. Thank you.
Any questions for Kathleen? Okay. Is anyone here from St. Joseph?
Yes. Hi, this is Kathy Greaves
Hello.
from St. Joseph. So a couple of updates. Last month, Andrew George resigned as chair of the party here in St. Joseph County. So we had a meeting to replace him, and I'm the replacement. So Kathy Greaves, a little bit about myself. I basically served just as a committee member, but because here in St. Joseph County, our membership, our organized membership, our participating membership is so small, here I am. So we'll see. We've got a lot of changes that are happening here. So it was great to hear Kathleen over there in Cass County, although I was a little disappointed to hear she doesn't think we have anything in common. I think we still need to talk because we're in the middle of a lot of changes here as well. We have made changes to our bylaws. So we've gotten approval from the MDP. So we need to vote on those changes. We're trying to reorganize our committees so they're a little bit more action oriented. So that's part of the changes in the bylaws. Trying to think what else we've done here over the last month. I think that's it right now. We're just trying to get things straightened around with some, new folks in office. We have a new vice chair as well. I don't think he's on the call right now, but like I said, anybody who wants to give us a little bit of recommendations or input, we're more than happy to hear from you. So thanks. And I look forward to being more involved in the 6th district.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions?
Kathleen here. Kathy, I want you to know that we have lots in common with the Democratic Party in St. Joe County. We'd love to have, Andrew was not the easiest person to work with, but we'd love to have those kind of relationships. What we don't have with St. Joe County has much more to do with the nature of the county itself, and more rural than Cass, more conservative than Cass, a variety of things. But we surely look forward to working with St. Joe County, and I'm glad to have you on board. You sound like you're going to be much better organized than things have been. So, thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Any other questions? Okay. Who would like to provide a report for Van Buren?
I can do that, Madam Chair, if you'd like. I don't know if there's anybody else on the call from Van Buren, is there? I haven't been able to look around at everybody.
I do not know. We have 31 people on the call.
Okay.
I don't know. If you can provide information, then that's
Yeah,
perfectly acceptable to me.
I'll provide a little bit of a, oh, Millie, did Millie have a question?
No, I don't have a
Sorry,
hand.
okay, all right. Sorry, very good. That's the teacher in me, Millie, looking for people raising their hands. Anyway, good morning, everybody. My name is Rick Catherman. I am trustee on the Van Buren Dems and very happy to be a part of this group as well, recent transplant. So those of you that might not know, I just retired from teaching in Washtenaw County, where I was involved with Washtenaw County Dems. And happy to be here and to report on behalf of the Van Buren Dems. And our chair, we have a terrific chair, Annie Brown. Anyway, a couple of notes. First of all, at our meeting in April, we're working on a fundraiser. I think the decision has been made to have a virtual fundraiser, basically a virtual cocktail hour and like a silent auction. That's going to be on Sunday, July the 25th. We also had a very enthusiastic and energetic conversation with members of the Black Caucus at our April meeting. We were fortunate to be visited by the new chair and two of their vice chairs. One of our goals in Van Buren County is to try to work better at our communication, our message, and to the variety of voter communities that we have in Van Buren County. And so we had a terrific conversation with members of the Black Caucus. We've also met with members of the Rural Caucus. And then at our meeting this Thursday, we have a meeting on May 20th. We're going to meet with a representative from the Great Lakes Political Academy. And then working on hopefully a visit from the MDP Hispanic and Latino Caucus at our June 17th meeting. Again, trying to work to learn from those folks, really build, establish, and strengthen relationships that we have with other communities within the Michigan Democratic Party. And I think that at this point, that's all that I have. I apologize for not having more, Madam Chair, but that may be enough for now.
Thank you. Any questions for Rick?
Kathleen again. Hi, Rick. Want to remind you, the Anishinaabe Caucus and the tribes in our area, and they'll be more than willing to come talk. The Anishinaabe Caucus is actually very active, and they're going up. They're going to have a march or a demonstration in Monroe, Michigan, and I wish I remembered the date, but at the moment I don't. It's next month, early in the month. In Monroe, there's a Custer statue, and they've been working for some time now to get Monroe to take down General Custer, so which would be a good idea. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, I received an email about that. I can pull up some more information and tell you guys about the exact dates during Good and Welfare if I can find it. So thanks for the reminder, Kathleen. I appreciate it.
Eleanor,
Um,
this is,
yes, ma'am.
if I could interrupt for a minute. This is Betty Pierman, and I just want to tell everybody that Julie Dye, who is connected with the Pokagon Band, is a speaker at the South County Dems meeting on Monday at 7 o'clock, and that's in Niles. So I'm sure we can get more information if anybody needs it, but they meet on 11th Street in the Bell Building. And she's with, I just brought that up because of the discussion we just had.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone here from the state party to provide a report? I don't see. Oh yeah, Cory, do you have anything to report from the state party?
Also Kalamazoo.
Yep,
Oh,
I live in Kalamazoo too. But I think Ken Wilcott, who's the vice chair of the Kalamazoo Democrats, might. I don't want to step on his toes, and if he had a report for Kalamazoo County, but for the state party, the MDP, just a quick thing about the voter suppression bills that are being pushed by the Republican state senators. What we're really asking people to do is to call their state senators, especially if they live in a community that has a Republican state senator. So those of you who live in Kim Lasada's district or Eric Nesbitt's district, both of their names are, as was stated earlier in this meeting, are attached to some of these bills as co-sponsors. So I'm going to put a PDF file in the chat, and then the PDF file has every one of these bills and who sponsors it, and basically what the bill said, a brief summary of what the bill says it does. And then underneath that brief summary will be the real summary of what that bill actually does when it comes to voter suppression. So we put that together, and when I'm done giving my report, I'll put that in the chat so that you can all have it and download to your own community, your own computers or devices, so that you can have so that you have a better understanding of what these bills do. Excuse me. And so when you're making your calls, you can make an informed phone call or email or letter. We're just asking people to really reach out to their state senators. We've also helped people set up phone banks who have decided to do a phone banking effort in regards to calling their state senators. We're asking people who have Democratic state senators, so like people who live in Kalamazoo County, they have Sean McCann as their state senator. So he's already on board and he already opposes these bills. So calling him won't really be necessary, but calling Eric Nesbitt and Kim Lasada, even John Bison Moore in Calhoun County would be very helpful. So I'll put that PDF file in the chat, and just continue to do what you can to fight to oppose these voter suppression bills. And also, I was also at the Kalamazoo redistricting commission meeting, and as was stated earlier in this meeting, the Republicans do have a very well-organized effort to attend these commission meetings and say that they like to keep things the way they are. We've even had, there were even people at the meeting who were really pushing this urban rural divide narrative. They're really trying to push that hard in the Republican comments. And so I would really ask those of you who have not, who are very interested in this topic of redistricting, to please consider submitting testimony to the Redistricting Commission, and I'll put the link to their website also in the chat, so that if you have comments that you want to make sure that your comments are heard to the Redistricting Commission. You can also, those of you who have the ability or have the interest to draw maps, you can also submit those maps to the Redistricting Commission. So outside of that, that's what we're working on. We've been working on this past month with the voter suppression bills and the redistricting process.
Cory, could you put your email address or your contact information in the chat too, please?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you very much, Cory. Are there any questions for Cory?
Yeah, this is Kathy Greaves. I wondered, Cory, you mentioned that if we can draw maps, that would be helpful as well. Does the Democratic Party does the Democratic Party or some other individuals within the party have a map recommendation that we might use as sort of a backdrop for us submitting our comments and a potential map?
I'm not 100% sure if we have like a template map. I can see if Nick Barnes, who is kind of the person within the MDP who was more of an expert on this issue than I am, could in fact, I did want to ask you because you're the new chair of St. Joe County, I did want to ask you and kind of connect with you with what your email was so that we can also update our information within the MDP and take Andrew's name out and put yours in so that people can, within the MDP, can contact you about various trainings and things of that sort. So yeah, I'll put my email in the chat, and I'd like to connect with you and see how we can help you with that.
Okay, great. I think our names have been switched on MDP information, but we can
Okay.
focus on that just to make sure that that's true. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Mike, I see your hand. Did you have a question? You're muted.
I kind of overheard when you were talking about the Republican Party thing. Well, last thing I have on my phone, and I just wanted to check if you guys have a little bit of concern about it.
Sorry, what was the question?
I said you guys have a little bit of concern about that. I just told you.
The Republican Party at the redistricting committees?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead, Cory.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we are really encouraging people, Democrats, to it's kind of too late with the redistricting commission meeting in this area because Kalamazoo was the only one within Southwest Michigan. There'll be one in Grand Rapids on July 1st. But we are really encouraging people who are Democrats to make sure that their voices are heard because, and this is my personal opinion, not necessarily the MDP's, but because we passed Proposal 2 in 2018, and we do have this commission now to redraw the districts and make sure that our districts are not gerrymandered. So these comments, this is like the last ditch opportunity for the Republicans to have their say outside of possibly going to court with them after the lines are drawn. But this is kind of their last ditch effort to kind of muck up the system and make sure that they hold on to the power that they have right now. So just because we voted for Prop 2 in 2018 doesn't mean the work is done. We still have to fight them on making sure our district lines are drawn fairly and in a way that is not gerrymandered to one party over the other. So yes, please, if you're a Democrat, please consider submitted written testimony to the Redistricting Commission through their website.
And Austin just posted a comment in the chat if you missed it. There's an option to attend via Zoom, and you can also provide comment to the Redistricting Commission if you Google Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. So if you want to provide feedback to them like Cory suggested, that's probably the best way to do so. Rick, I see your hand.
Yeah, that was just going to be my question to Cory, because it's my understanding we can still, anyone can testify at the July meeting. Is that correct, Cory?
Yes, I believe so.
That was all. Thank you.
I mentioned the public comments to the website because though for those who also wanted to submit maps, that's what they're recommending, to submit them through the website. Yeah, you're correct, but you're correct though.
Melissa, I see your hand.
Yes. Cory, I was wondering, taking it still in redistricting, but have you heard much from the county commissioners redistricting effort? I know Amy and Berrien County had their first meeting. And I was just wondering if you have any information on any of the other places within the 6 that have, or throughout the state, how that effort is going on the county level. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. When it comes to county level, we haven't really, at least with Project 83, we haven't discussed it a whole lot because that's because Prop 2 did not include county districts, county commission districts. From what I've last heard, what we're recommending is that because the census numbers are not out yet, that of course, because without those numbers and that information, they can't draw a line. So for those people who live in counties that will be controlled by Republicans when it comes to the redistricting, having a Republican state county treasurer, clerk, and prosecutor. For the people who live in those counties who will have a majority Republican commission when it comes to drawing the county districts, to attend those meetings, draw a map, and be willing to submit that map to kind of combat the Republican map that may or may not be gerrymandered by the majority. But I can certainly put the information, the email address to Nick Barnes, who is, like I said, the person who's working on this every day, has the expertise on this particular issue, and has conducted trainings for county parties to how they can best represent Democrats in their district, especially those who live in a lot of communities here in Southwest Michigan, where there are a lot of people who, where we have a majority Republican county office holder seat, county office holders. So I can put his email also in the chat, where you can connect with him about getting some more guidance on how to, with the help of drawing district maps within the county and combating majority Republican county commissioner, countywide offices.
Ken, I saw your hand, but I know that you have to leave. Did you have a question?
We're close. Okay. No, I just wanted to make a comment on the commission. When we were there, the chair of the commission, or whoever was the appointed chair for that day, really stressed about writing, continue to do a write-in for your thoughts in maps. She stressed that several times in the meeting the other day. So it's almost like they gave an allotted time, but they've recognized that the time that they gave was very small. It almost seems like they wanted to see more of a write-in of your opinions and submit maps. That's the impression I got from the chairperson at the meeting the other day.
Excellent. And I know that I skipped Kalamazoo. Did you have anything to report really quick?
Nope, we're pretty much doing the same thing everybody else is doing.
Excellent, thank you. Were there any other questions for Cory or for Ken regarding Kalamazoo? Awesome. Cory just posted the PDF to the chat if everyone wants to grab that. I can download a copy as well. Mike, your hand? You're muted. We can't hear you. Sorry.
I want a quick question for you. I am working for a Democrat too. Now, if you had a few comments or the update, just let me know if you have any down there. But I know one person who talking about is Cory. He talked about the Democrat with someone. We had a bit concern about both of them, I think. I overheard from this morning, and they were doing something awful. I don't know what's going on with the talking about.
The Republicans were doing something awful.
Yeah,
Aren't they always?
yeah.
I don't know specifically to what they were referring, but I mean,
Yeah. Mhm. If you had an email, 'cause I'm working with the president. I'm his my manager, the assistant from down here. Because I like to help you guys on that.
okay. Can you put your email in the chat? So you're on a mobile device, I think. If you hit the 3 dots on your screen, you should be able to open the chat. You can put your email in there. And then if anyone has any questions for you or wants to get in touch, they can contact you there. Does that work for you?
Yeah. Okay. That works.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Was there any other questions for Cory or for any of our county chairs? Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on to unfinished business. Okay, so the only unfinished business that we have is our committees. So between our last meeting and this meeting, Rick Catherman volunteered to be the committee chair for candidates and campaigns. Right, Rick? Excellent. So we need to officially elect him to that chair position. So I will entertain a motion to appoint Rick Catherman as the chair of candidates and campaigns.
Second.
So moved.
Who moved? Susan? And Austin seconded. Excellent. So being moved and properly seconded, all of those in favor of appointing Rick Catherman as the chair of the candidates and campaigns committee, please unmute yourself and say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed, please unmute yourself and say nay. Awesome. Congratulations, Rick. You are now the chair of the candidates and campaigns committee.
Thank you very much.
Huzzah.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, can I call a point of personal privilege, please?
Yes.
Excellent. If I could, and this isn't a true report, but I just wanted to let everybody know. And Cory King, are you still on the call?
Yes.
Cory, I wanted to thank you for sharing information. I had contacted Cory about information here in CD6 and then Van Buren County for us in HD 66 in the Senate District 26 on some most recent election information. As part of the Candidate Recruitment Campaigns Committee as chair, one of the responsibilities is to research past elections. I contacted Cory. He sent me some very valuable information. I was doing this kind of on my own, but on behalf of Van Buren County because I was not officially the chair for the committee here. I will tell you that I have a meeting set up. Cory mentioned a gentleman's name. His name is Joey Andrews. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Joey or not. I have a meeting with Joey this Wednesday to review his analysis of the 6th Congressional District on our past election. I've had an opportunity to read and review his written analysis and kind of some of his summary recommendations and that sort of thing. And so I have a meeting with him. So I hope to bring more information to our chair and to the entire committee. And then back to, I believe it was Kathy Graves, right? Kathy, are you still there?
I am Kathy Greaves.
Greaves, I apologize, right? So
No
you had
worries.
mentioned, you had a question about a plan or talking points for the redistricting commission. Is that accurate? Did I understand your question correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so what I can do is I can share information. That's a similar question that I had. I was invited to provide testimony at the meeting that happened this past week. I wasn't available to do so, but I reached out to Joey Andrews, as I mentioned before, meeting with him. And so I'm going to meet with the chair of the Van Buren Dems, Annie Brown, as well. In the next, or as soon as I've had a chance to meet with Joey to kind of review some of those talking points. And perhaps, and then what I'll do is I'll contact our chair, I'll contact Eleanor, have a conversation with her or correspondence with her via email or text or hopefully a phone conversation. If there may be talking points that we might want to put together for this district in particular. But I will share that through the chair first, and then she can decide what she wants to do. But I went ahead and started doing some of this work. I'd mentioned it with Eleanor at the previous meeting that I would be interested in chairing this committee. I'm committed to getting Democrats elected. I think that we need to have a 2-year, 4-year, 10-year plan perhaps as to how we might want to be strategic in doing that. And I think analyzing and utilizing any data that we can get our hands on, I think is important. So I'll share more of this information at I think it's the executive committee meeting, right, Madam Chair? In June, if that's correct. I'll try to put together some notes, share them with you first, and then maybe we can have a conversation before that next executive committee meeting. I'm looking forward to working for you all and with you all. And then I have one more question, if that's all right. This is for the county chairs, and I'm not familiar with if the county parties have this, but if county parties have their own committee, right, or chairs of candidate recruitment and campaigns. If anyone has that already, does any of the anybody that's on the meeting today, does anybody have that committee already established and a person as the chair?
Yes, we do.
Amy, Amy?
Yeah, Joey.
Say that again.
Joey, the same guy you're talking about.
Oh, Joey is yours?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yep.
there you go. Well, that
So
might be.
you're already connected. Yep.
There you go. That might be the place to start. Is there any other counties that have a chair or someone that's leading or interested in that?
Allegan does.
Say that again.
Allegan does. We have Helen Goins.
All right.
If you want to put your email in the chat, we can connect you with Helen.
Perfect. I'll put my email in the chat, and then you all can contact me. If you don't have someone in the position and you would be interested in having me attend one of your county meetings, I would be happy to do that, just to share a little information, or at least to introduce myself, because I wonder if kind of coordinating with the counties, with folks that are working in the same capacity, that we might be able to get some ideas together, share some ideas, and go forward that way. So
Rick, I think it's a great idea. We use Joey too. He's a treasure chest, but he just, he kind of comes in, he gives us information, but I need to talk with the executive committee about actually having a person serve in that capacity.
Sure. Right. I appreciate that. I was just interested to know. Again, I'm relatively new to the 6th congressional district, and I wasn't sure if that was the situation, but I'm happy to come in if you're interested in having me attend to kind of talk with folks, at least introduce myself. I'd be happy to do that as well. I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you for stepping up to be chair of this committee, because it's super important. Okay, so we do have 2 other committees that are mandated by our bylaws. Finance and fundraising, which is one committee, and then outreach, both of which do not currently have chairs. Is there anyone who's interested in being a chair of either of those committees? No? Okay. Well, hopefully we can find someone who's interested, because fundraising is very important, as is outreach. But given our current situation with COVID, it's difficult to do outreach, but hopefully we can find some opportunities. Okay, if you or anyone you know is interested in being a chair of these committees, Please contact me or any one of our other officers to express your interest. Our next executive committee meeting, I believe, is on June 19th. So if you're interested, anyone in the district can attend our executive committee meetings. You just can't vote because you're not on the executive committee. But if you're interested in becoming a chair of one of these committees, please attend. Please let us know. We need your help to make this happen. Thank you. Okay. New business. Okay, so new business. We have a resolution on the table. So if you recall, in March, we had a special presentation by Bill Farmer about the Medicare for All Act of 2021, which is an act that has been introduced in the House of Representatives in support of Medicare for All. Last session in the House, they introduced the Medicare for All Act that didn't really go anywhere, but we passed a resolution in support of that as well. So let me pull up the text of the resolution and share my screen just a moment. Okay, so let me make this bigger. Full screen. Can everybody see the resolution? And I will read it so that everyone can see it. Okay, so the resolution text says, whereas rationing healthcare in the United States, according to ability to pay, has diminished the overall health of our citizens to the point that the US ranks 35th in the world in health outcomes, and even worse for infant mortality and life expectancy, yet ranks first in healthcare costs. And whereas before the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of Americans without health insurance was nearly 30 million, with about 50 million Americans underinsured. The pandemic has greatly increased these numbers. Up to 45 million additional people have lost job-related health insurance, with the impacts most severe among people of color. And whereas without new strategies, the never-ending rising costs of healthcare continue to challenge our already strapped municipal budgets and our businesses that keep our communities thriving. And whereas the Medicare for All Act of 2021 will guarantee that all people living in Michigan's 6th congressional district will be fully covered for healthcare without paying premiums, deductibles, copays, or other out-of-pocket expenses, be provided lifelong coverage for doctor's visits, major medical treatments, prescription drugs, vision, dental, mental health, in-home and institutional rehabilitative long-term medical care, and would also slash the cost of bureaucracy, protect the doctor-patient relationship, and assure patients a free choice of doctors. Whereas in Michigan, as is throughout our country, Black, Latino, and Indigenous peoples suffer from significant healthcare disparities compared to their white counterparts, including, but not limited to, higher rates of being uninsured, of poor or fair health status, chronic disease, significantly higher preterm births, maternal and infant mortality, and overall mortality. People of color have been hospitalized at higher rates due to COVID-19 and suffered death at rates alarmingly higher than would be predicted for their population sizes in Michigan. Those same communities of color would see reductions in the aforementioned healthcare disparities by having access to high-quality universal healthcare that is provided by the Medicare for All Act of 2021, without the interruptions in care present in an employer-based for-profit system. Therefore, be it resolved, Michigan's 6th Congressional District Democrats support the Medicare for All Act of 2021 and call on Michigan's congressional delegation and all federal legislators to co-sponsor and do all in their power to successfully move this act through the legislative process to enact into law. Awesome. Okay. Are there any questions about this resolution? Well, actually, I think we need a motion before we can discuss. So is there a motion to accept this resolution?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution as presented.
And do we have a second?
Support the motion.
Second.
Thank you. So Amy Skruma and Mark Miller. Is there any discussion? And if you're not familiar with the Medicare for All Act, they also provided, oh, Bill, hello.
Hi all. Yeah, just briefly, you've read it, the resolution. Thank you so much, Eleanor, for that reading. I just encourage everybody to vote for this resolution, and so we can take some continuing affirmative action in regards to this, really what is a social justice requirement. If there's any questions, I'm more than willing to answer any of your concerns. Thank you.
So on my screen right now is just a quick summary of what the act will actually do, and a little bit more information about Medicare for All in general. So according to this act, it would be implemented over a 2-year period, so it wouldn't be instantaneous. They would have time to implement it. It would cover ages 0 to 18 immediately and anyone over 55. And then it also offers a Medicare transition buy-in plan. So other people who are not automatically covered would be able to purchase a plan ahead of time from the government. And then after year 2, everyone is covered. And then it also allocates 1% of the budget to assist people who are displaced working in private insurance currently, to make sure that they either get integrated into the new system or to help them find jobs elsewhere in healthcare, because it's not like healthcare is going anywhere. I think the most important thing is that it introduces this Office of Health Equity, which I think is super important. As the resolution stated, our minority communities and Indigenous communities see huge health disparities in both access and quality of care, which just isn't really great. I mean, it's inhumane. That's really the only way to describe it. And the Office of Health Equity would make sure that everyone is getting access to healthcare, everyone is getting quality care, and that their health outcomes are improved. Dr. Lester.
I certainly support the aims of this proposal, and I will vote in favor of this proposal today. But I'd like to go on record as saying that the devil is in the details. And I fear that there are a great many issues that really haven't been fully thought through, that the proposed time frame for implementing this is very optimistic. I'll just note in passing, for instance, and I'm a retired physician, I'm well past practicing medicine, I will never go back to that. But in a sense, if you make all healthcare Medicare, which by the way was my preferred payer when I was in the private practice of medicine, then every physician becomes a pretty much full-time employee of Medicare. And there are a great many physicians who don't want to be a full-time employee of anybody, and who just don't think that government bureaucracies are the best way to arrive at the individual treatment decisions for individual patients. So I think there's really a whole lot more to say about this. I've heard Dr. Longjohn speak about this issue very eloquently and very thoughtfully. I don't believe he's on this call. I think we should go ahead and pass this as a kind of affirmation of our goals, the goal of equity and the goal of universality and the goal of high quality. But at some point, we need to establish a working group, maybe not locally, but at least nationally, to really think about the unexpected consequences. This is a very big change. And when you make big changes in complex systems, you often get undesired results. Thank you for listening. Sorry.
Good point.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Lester. Kathleen, I see your hand raised.
Correct. We from time to time are reminded that we need to not think of certain groups in a monolithic kind of way. It is true that Indigenous people in this country who are not members of tribes or have relocated to urban areas may find it difficult to get proper services. However, a model that is worth looking at is the Indian Health Services model. And here in Cass County, we have a tribe. I worked for that tribe for about 15 years. The Indian Health Services program is marvelous. It covers everything, and they actually have vaccinated over 90% of their population. They make referrals out, and then the care that they make referrals out to is paid by Indian Health Services. So it's a community-based kind of health service provision. and it's extremely effective. But again, it would only be those people who live on a reservation or are in the community in which tribes are. But just an FYI for those of us who don't know that. I didn't know it before I went to work for the tribe. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Is there any other discussion about the resolution? Seeing none, and just for everyone's reference, I uploaded a copy of that summary and the text of the resolution itself to the chat just now. But that was also sent around with the invitation email if you wanted to reference it. Okay, so seeing no further discussion, we have a motion to accept this resolution. All of those in favor of accepting this resolution, please unmute yourself and say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, please unmute yourself and say nay. Awesome, the ayes have it and the resolution is accepted. So I believe that our normal process for resolutions is now it gets passed up to the SCC, and hopefully they'll consider it as well. So SCC is the State Central Committee of the MDP. Hopefully they will then consider this. They may not, but our resolution is now on the way to them for further consideration. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, so what is next in our agenda? That was our only new business. All right, is there any other new business? Bill, I see your hand.
Yes, I just wanted to thank everybody for your consideration on the resolution, and hope we can move this forward and continue to build a national movement on behalf of this legislation. The comments I heard were very thoughtful, and the Indigenous representation on their healthcare system is built into this resolution and the national legislation for that kind of universal coverage. And it is a very complex situation. And that's what 2 years, and don't forget, this is an initial position that we're going after. And you go in with your guns blasting with the best possible proposal. You don't go in with a compromise proposal, and there's much work to be done and to be worked out. Thank you all again.
I'll also post the full text of the bill itself, the House bill, for review if you want to review it. But yes, thank you everyone for the very thoughtful comments. Obviously, this is a very complex request that we're asking our government to consider. And our current system is pretty messed up, and it can be scary and intimidating to think about changing it in massive ways all at once. So I totally agree with everyone's comments, and I appreciate your concern. And I also appreciate the effort to move something forward, which is really great. Awesome. So that's the end of our scheduled agenda. Is there any new business otherwise that we did not address? Okay, seeing none, I will go to announcements and good and welfare. So as we did previously discuss about the Custer Monument in Monroe, Michigan, they are having a protest June 25th, 2021 in Monroe, Michigan. The protest starts at 4:30 p.m. and ends at 8 p.m. They have a website with updates, which I will post in the chat, goodtroublemonroe.org. So if you're interested in attending or supporting them, check out their website. They also have some more information if you're interested in getting more involved. They have an address where you can send a letter to the Monroe City Council, as well as you can contact them via email. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I can share that information. They had a petition, but unfortunately it's closed, so you can't participate in it anymore, which is annoying, but all right, that's all the information I've got about that. Jill, I see your hand.
Yes, I just want to encourage everybody to watch the movie Kiss the Ground. It's about regenerative agriculture, and considering that we live in a heavily agricultural district, it's very exciting. I think the big thing that it introduces is something called carbon capture or carbon sequestration. And so I think we are well positioned to promote this and see how we can educate people. And the Smith Farmstead that I mentioned in my update is practicing regenerative agriculture. And I just will reiterate that our meeting is on June 15th at the Smith Farmstead, and Austin put the mobilized link in the chat. And for anybody who would rather go visit the farm on the weekend, tomorrow there is a sheep and greet because the farm has a whole crop of newborn lambs. And they are inviting the public to come from 2 to 5 tomorrow and pet the sheep and hang out on their farm.
Thank you, Jill. Austin, I see your hand. Rick, I saw your hand. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask real quick. Back to the thing about Monroe. Are we coordinating with the 7th CD on that? Do you know?
I received that from the Anishinaabe Caucus mailing list, not from any connection with CD7.
Okay. Just curious. All right. That's a
Austin.
Anyway, thank you.
Absolutely. Austin, you had a question? Comment?
No, I just wanted to share there's a rally tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Bronson Park. It's the No More Hate rally. Given the rise in hate crimes in the Asian American and Black Lives Matter, it's more important than ever that we speak up for these communities. So if you're free tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Bronson Park in downtown Kalamazoo, there's a great lineup of speakers from state representatives, activists. I think there's also a musician coming to speak or sing. So it'll be a really great time and a big community event. So if you're free, 3 o'clock, Bronson Park, downtown Kalamazoo tomorrow.
Thank you, Austin. Greta, I see your hand. You're muted.
I contacted the lady that's in charge of the Remove Custer Monument group and asked her, and I also sent a copy to the Indigenous group, asking if they would like a donation because I can't be there. And I thought maybe I could help monetarily. So the head of the Monroe Remove Custer Monument group said they cannot accept donations. I haven't heard back from the, I can't say it, starts with A, the Indigenous group.
The Anishinaabe Caucus?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, I think the caucus itself can probably accept donations because they're a fully vetted organization of the MDP. But I don't know how the Remove Monroe organization is affiliated with them officially. So that makes sense.
Okay.
Good to know. Jill, I saw that you had put your hand back up. Did you have anything else to add?
No, I thought I would put my hand down, but anyway, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Melissa, I see your hand.
A quick question to Cory, if he's still on. We lost Siobhan Leonard for Our Part of the World from MDP. Does Cory know, or is Cory our new Siobhan?
Well, to answer your question, I'm not your new Siobhan, unfortunately. The MDP is working on hiring someone to take Siobhan's region. And so we're hopeful that that person will be here soon for you all to connect with. But if you do have issues or anything that you may need, that you may have needed to contact Siobhan for, you're always free to reach out to me, and I'll try to help the best that I can. So yep, I believe my email is in the chat. So if you have questions, I can try to help direct you to the right person, or if I can help you, I'll certainly do that. But hopefully we'll have Siobhan's, the one that's going to take over Siobhan's position, up and ready to go pretty soon here.
Thank you. Jamario, I see your hand.
Yeah, I can answer that question. I actually just took on the role that Siobhan had for Project 83. So I'll be the new organizer for the area as soon as I leave Manhattan from this district attorney election. That'll be over in just a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I kind of knew that, but I didn't want to steal his thunder. So I want to kind of, let him introduce himself without kind of, taking some of his thunder away. Congratulations, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you have any roots in Michigan?
Yeah, so I live in St. Joe, Michigan, technically. That's my home address, which that's where I'll be when I get back. But a little bit about me. I graduated in 2013. I signed up for the Army at 17 years old, so I went on to do that. In the process of that, I became a professional athlete for a bit. I decided to stop and I started my own business. I have a partnership with about 110 different companies. And how I got looped into politics was through Joey Andrews and Siobhan Leonard and some other individuals. And I've been volunteering for elections for many years. And I've also been working, as far as the campaigns as of recent, the Ossoff Warnock election that happened this past year and this year, and then the general election. Was working with Joe Biden's campaign and helping individuals down ballot win, like Rayante Bell and some other people. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Well, we're really excited to work with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I sent some of you some friend requests on Facebook, so that's me in person. So
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. We're really looking forward to working with you, and welcome aboard. And good luck with your district attorney election.
Thank you.
Awesome. Rick, I see your hand.
Yeah, just a real quick question. Kathleen McKee,
Yes.
you're the one, did you mention, is it the Indigenous Caucus?
It's Anishinaabe.
And say that again?
Anishinaabe.
Thank you. That was
Yes.
all.
Yep.
They are, I believe, the newest caucus of the MDP recently, right?
I think so.
I was searching the MDP website, see if I can find it, but thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Is there any other announcements, questions, comments, feedback for good and welfare? Austin?
Yes, the Youth Caucus, the MDP Youth Caucus endorsement form is live. So if you know any 2021 candidates who are seeking an endorsement or recommendation from the Youth Caucus, please reach out to me. I'll throw my email in the chat, or you can search my name on Facebook and get it that way. But yeah, if you want to be endorsed by the Youth Caucus, let me know.
Awesome. Mike, I see your hand.
Hey, yeah, I hear about it. If you need anything down there, just let me know. I think I got my email address and my text message on there. I think I got my number on it.
Yeah, we should have gotten your contact info from Zoom. So yeah, if anybody needs to get in contact with you, I've got contact information. So let me know. I can pass it along.
Okay. I might let you do that now if you do, if you have time.
Sure, I can put it in the chat before everybody leaves.
Okay.
Anything else from anybody? Pull this up really quick. All right, well, I will entertain a motion to adjourn while I'm pulling this up. There it is.
So moved.
All right. Is there a second? I don't know if we need a second for
Second.
adjournment. Okay, your email is in the chat, Mike. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor of adjournment, please unmute yourself and say aye.
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 Hi.
All right, I think we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and I will see you all in July at our picnic, if not at our executive committee meeting, if you wish to attend in June. Thank you.